study of hurricanes brings together scales of motion that range from the very small, almost the individual thunderstorm scale, all the way to aspects of the global circulation. People in climate change research are interested in hurricanes. People looking at very small scale engineering aspects are interested in the damage caused by hurricanes.
Well, I'm Kerry Emanuel. I'm a professor of atmospheric science at MIT. I have been interested in weather since I was a child, and I'm also very interested in physics and mathematics. And meteorology turns out to be a heavily mathematical science. And I have, in recent decades, specialized in meteorology and climate of the tropics. I've been very interested in cumulus convection, what controls the most important greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, which is water vapor, and in hurricanes. So I've done a lot of work on the physics of hurricanes. I also, with my colleague Dan Rothman, started a climate think tank at MIT called the Lorenz Center about 3 years ago, and we're dedicated to basic research in climate. Well, I mean, I had some terrific mentors when I was particularly in graduate school. Fred Sanders and Jule Charney at MIT come to mind. Well, I decided early in my career that I really wanted to work with graduate students. And I think that's been the most interesting and rewarding part of my own career looking back at it. It's a great thing to do because in some sense they keep me young by always having new ideas and new thoughts and new approaches, new personalities. I don't have a recipe for it. I don't have, I don't have strong advice to give to colleagues because I think mentoring has to be tailored both to the personality of the mentor and to the personality of the student being mentored. But I still try to give my students a lot of freedom and to push them out of the nest as quickly as possible, since I make them fly on their own.
I'm a research meteorologist with the Hurricane Research Division, and my current duties, especially now during the hurricane season, is to oversee some of the flights that are going on, mostly do a lot of the ground coordination. I have a 4-month-old right now. So if I didn't have her, I would be flying in the systems and in the storms and collecting data on the planes. My first experience with mentoring was probably in high school. I told my high school teacher that I was interested in meteorology. And so she helped me find an internship position here at the Hurricane Research Division. But then a more formal mentoring I received was through the SOARS program. And, it was my first inkling into, what mentoring was and how important that was. Through the SOARS program, I had a community mentor, a science mentor, a writing mentor, and it was, it really does feel like it takes a village to move someone. And I was very grateful for that. For having that they were cheerleaders for me. I've also been a mentor, and I even started a mentoring program now through all my years.
So I'm interested in hurricanes and extreme weather and how that's going to change in the future. I also had a senior scientist at the University of Reading, Professor Keith Browning, he really championed my research. I think he became interested in what I was doing, and that really helped progress both my research and also beyond my PhD. He had connections in the broader communities that allowed me to take the path I have. And then since I've been at NCAR, my mentor has been Holland, and he's been critical in educating me to think strategically and develop partnerships that will stand me in good stead for the future. More recently in my research, I've started to mentor others over the past 4 or 5 years. And I'll be honest and say that it is hard work. It takes a lot of time and effort, but I think the rewards are certainly worth it. And one project in particular went all the way from hurricane dynamics to looking at social vulnerability to hurricanes. So in that respect, it educated me in disciplines I was not otherwise aware of, and that has led on to other projects.
What I've done for most of my life is work on extreme weather, and in particular hurricanes or tropical cyclones or typhoons, depending on where you are in the world. Mentorship is extremely important to anyone's career, and I've benefited from both getting mentorship and also being able to actually talk to people and mentor young people into the field. At the receiving mentorship, I had a few people that actually, some or other, decided that they thought I was pretty good, and they decided to be promoted, and it was unbelievably helpful to my career. One example is Bob and Joanne Simpson, who I literally met when I was running a small conference in Australia, and after that I suddenly found that I was getting invited to conferences, and I had someone who I could call to, and then we wrote some very interesting papers together. It was probably the single most important thing in my career. The other way around, I've had visiting faculty positions at a bunch of universities, and I've had a number of PhD students, 4 of which are actually got jobs in US universities as full professors now. And I found that to be actually equally, if not more satisfying, because I was helping them get started in their career, but they came in with a fresh perspective, and that fresh perspective was really good for rejuvenating my career. You never actually grow up, you know. You basically are still doing interesting things even when you're getting old like me, and not only that, you get to play with some pretty terrific toys.